Hello everyone, thank you very much for joining me. If you enjoy my content, a like on the video would go a really long way for me. And I also want to let you know that I have a promo going on right now for follow-up sessions if you've had at least one session with me and want to go deeper and want to see what else is there for you. I'm fully on board for doing that. January is typically my slowest time of year, bookings wise. So the openings are not that far out. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. So I have a lot of different messages for you today, and I think they're really important. And I'm going to do my best to get through each one of them, because really when I record videos, I get in about a quarter of what I want to say. So I'm going to dive right in and, be in a receptive state. Ponder the perspectives that come forward. They're meant to activate you. They're meant to open you. They're meant to bring insight and awareness forward into the forefront so that you can walk the path, knowing what's going on and knowing what's being asked of you. So you should know that right now, the air, the food, all of those things, and if you're awake, these are all things that you're familiar with. You know the tactics used against us and humanity. But we don't often realize what result is taking place, and a lot of things that have been done to contaminate what we consume in this place is serving the purpose of stunting your inner voice. So if you right now feel like your inner voice isn't as prominent as it should be, if you feel like your inner dialogue isn't as clear and as vivid as it once was before, I would think about implementing some protective measures. Maybe grid your house, declare sacred space, call in guides specifically to secure your home, to stand in certain rooms, and they will do that. You can call forward sentinels. You don't have to wait for it. We're going to talk about what that means a little bit more in this video. And in general, selenite is probably the thing that goes the furthest as far as shielding you from Wi-Fi, from EMF, and from cell phone towers and all of those things, chemtrails, water contamination. I would recommend sleeping with a piece of selenite by your bed, and that way you have a nice pocket to work in and to rest in and to energetically recover in, because we want that inner voice to be as loud and as clear and as prominent as we can get it. So obviously, to prevent the awakening, that's one of the most important battlegrounds right now. So do what you can to eliminate or counter that resistance. And I want to let you know the truth about the resistance. If you're getting resistance in your spiritual growth, if you're getting resistance in your spiritual business, if you're, not as curious, or maybe have the sense of wonder and the childlike behavior that you're meant to acquire and maintain, that lets me know that you're a threat. That lets me know that you're doing the right things. That lets me know that there are parties and old energies out there that, don't want you to remember who you are. Don't want you to remember how ancient you are. They don't want you to remember how important and significant the earth is and humanity is for everything else that's going on in the cosmos. So be soft, be loving, be kind, be gentle, be forgiving, but put your armor on and don't let anybody tread on you. Be the warrior in the garden. And I know a lot of you are anticipating, at least your guides are anticipating, a new phase of your awakening arriving. And a lot of us think about our awakening as being a singular event. And then, we wake up and we acquire different perspectives. And really what we realize is that our awakening has happened in phases. And, maybe some of the phases you were more awake and more aware. So I want to tell you a little bit of a story in my situation personally. And I might have told this before, probably years ago at this point. But in high school, I was an athlete. I was somebody who was used to an audience watching me perform, and then something happened in my life, unfortunate at the time, but obviously we can look back now and see it's by design, my empath abilities woke up spontaneously, and I was ultra sensitive to everything. I already was before, but I became so sensitive that when I was on the baseball field, I would be standing at second base or at shortstop, and I would feel every bit of spotlight or eyeball on me. So that, that kind of resulted in not being able to play. And that resulted in, my participation at school going downward. So to awaken the empathic gifts, to use them wisely and courageously, it takes a lot of work, and we make a lot of sacrifices along the way to do it. So you should empower yourself to utilize those abilities in the way that you're meant to, on behalf of that version of you who maybe suffered, because it was going through something that we didn't really understand at the time. So, maybe you've had a few really profound awakenings, but I think if you look back at your timeline, you'll also see that you've had series of mini awakenings, and, what's next for you? What's in store for 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027? Those are the important years. And, humanity healing itself, the grid is correcting itself. All the conditions are in your favor to become that version of you that's been in your mind's eye ever since you woke up. And, probably one of the biggest milestones in the awakening process is learning to see yourself how you are seen. And what do I mean by that? So when I'm opening up new dimensions and exploring with my third eye, when I'm entering into the Akashic records and communicating with the guides and the masters and the cosmic family, they don't see me, they don't interact with me, they don't speak to me as if I'm the student. The way that they speak to me, and I'm not saying this out of ego, because this goes for every single one of you that's listening to this video. The way that they speak to me is that I'm the general that's on the ground. What do we need to do? Where should we go? What are you seeing from your perspective? What resources are needed? Who should we look out for? Give us direction from the boots on the ground, eyes in the body perspective. See yourself how you are seen. You are not really one who's meant to bow to anybody but your creator. You're on equal ground with a lot of everybody else that's out there in the cosmos that calls themselves masters. And they are those things, and you are too, but the difference is that you've given up your celestial awareness. You chose to put yourself in separation. Nobody, absolutely nobody, has the power to put you in separation. It is something that is self-driven, and it is purposeful in that it brings expansion and growth to collective consciousness universally. Nobody has the power to put you asleep or to make you forget who you are but your creator and yourself. So pick up the sword of you and wield it against anybody else who would choose to belittle you or to change you or to make you think that you're lesser than what you really are. Discover those things about yourself so that you can allow others to see the same things within them. So, Star Season Lightworkers should also be mindful that there's going to be a lot of low frequency propaganda against things that are high frequency. And, one of the things that we are looking forward to in this restoration project that we're involved in is the restoration of that which was once sacred, which was deemed evil or taken and manipulated to use for personal gain. So in order to control the narrative, in order for the old energy to use spiritual resources for its own good, they've used massive propaganda campaigns against that which is sacred, that which is holy, and that which is a remnant of the divine. We're not only entering the fifth dimension, we're not only creating the new earth, we are reclaiming what is ours and restoring the sanctuary in its entirety and everything that it consists of. We're restoring history, we're restoring energy, we're restoring consciousness, we're restoring divinity in its entirety. And you should also know one of the tactics used against you, and this is the number one tactic of the old energy, and that who participates in the old energy, they will use guilt, shame, and fear against you at every angle, at every corner, behind every door. There will be guilt, shame, fear, and frustration and anxiety. So once again, I'll ask you to be honest with yourself. How much of your mind chatter consists of guilt, shame, fear, and anxiety and frustration for what was that couldn't be controlled? Maybe you have an aura to solidify. Maybe you have some things to shore up. Maybe you need to, as the gardener, tend to your garden and make sure that those kinds of consciousness cancers are not in your awareness. Where are they generated from? Are they coming from low frequency behavior? Are they coming from low frequency diet? Are they coming from repetition? Shore up wherever you think the openings are and focus on your disciplines in 2024. So same thing goes for the people that we spend time with. If there's somebody in your life who is using guilt, fear, and shame as a tactic against you, well, maybe that person isn't holding their own. Maybe that person is engaging in pornography, alcohol, abundant drug use. Those are things that old energy embeds in consciousness and uses as a tactic of separation. And one of the hidden truths about the awakening process is sometimes the ones that we love, the ones that we spend time with, are the most vulnerable. Sometimes that is how the old energy knocks us off of our frequency pedestal. So how do you fix that? How do you help the person? Sometimes when we try to help, we just embed them deeper in whatever it is that they're doing that's creating the opening for them. One thing that we can do is we can close our eyes and envision them as the best version of themselves. One thing that we can do is communicate with their guides, ask if there's anything that we can do for them, ask them to prompt us with what to do, what to say, how to respond, how to feel. Make sure that you protect yourself, but I would also make sure that we protect and nurture and look out for the ones around us as well, who are participating in the awakening just as much as we are, but maybe they're not conscious of it like you are. Anyway, I think I covered it. I want to say thank you to you guys, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.